What's up, guys? What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the importance of having a separate space and separating your personal life from your business.
Yeah, and while we do that, we're gonna show you a few updates on this. This will be episode 2 of the studio build out. If you haven't watched, we just got our own space. Check our channel for previous videos. So for you, what's one thing that you like about separating your space?
It just gets me on a working mode. Like I always used to say, well, with my actual job, my 9 to 5, I used to work in a separate office, and now I work from home, which I love. I wouldn't change that. But it's also very important that when you're at home, even though you're home, you have to put yourself in a working mindset, because you can very easily just stay in your room, especially if you have a laptop, or like not get in the groove of working if you don't have like a separate space where you feel like, okay, this space is my working space.
Yeah.
So for us, like social media, YouTube, like we've been very clear that we want to take this to the next level, and so that this is why we decided that we needed a separate space outside of our home. Because even though we can still like create certain videos at certain times when we are at home, like for TikToks and Reels, sometimes we need to be in a separate space, especially for our podcast. Like that was very important for the podcast. We want to have guests over, so we want to have a separate space. We don't want to compromise our privacy.
We ordered some curtains, and it was too short. Otherwise, we would have had it. We didn't want to paint, so we're doing a black curtains. Hopefully that looks well. If it doesn't look good, then we will be painting. But I think this is gonna work out. So another thing for me was equipment all over the house.
Oh yeah, that bothered me a lot.
It was stressful because I didn't have a space where I can just leave everything set up, a room, and like know that I have a living room that I could just go lay down and like not worry about the whole mess and stressing her out.
Yes, that worried. It didn't worry me. It bothered me a lot because I like for my house to not look so cluttered. And it's like we needed the equipment, so It's like, what do we do? Like we don't have any other extra space, you know. At this point, we even had a storage we have a storage where we live in the bottom, and that's still not enough space. And so we needed a separate area. So it's just so important for clarity and to separate your personal life from your business, to have a separate space, and just that when you go in there is work time, and you kind of turn on the switch.
And another note that we needed to work on was our podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, we post a podcast every Monday at 6 p.m. Elevate.
And we're about to elevate.
So that was nice much laugh. So that was one of the main things, was the podcasting, and on top of that, video podcasting. It's very
You've been running a marathon, you sound tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Setting up and breaking down all the time was very like time consuming.
Yeah. So that was another reason why.
There's no mic.
That was another reason why we decided to get a separate area. It's because at the time that we want to create, whether it is photo shoots or podcasting, it was very annoying to have to keep like taking everything down and then putting it back up, and that point right there would make us hesitate in creating more content, because as parents, as you guys already know, we have 2 kids, we have full-time jobs. The last thing we have is a lot of time in our hands. So it's very important that we have something set up, so that when we decide our light bulb goes up and we want to create something, that we could just walk into a space and everything is set up for us.
Agreed. And actually, I reached out to our realtor, and we wanted to upgrade to a 3-bedroom apartment. We currently live in a 2-bedroom, and she told me it wasn't possible, which I think was for the better, because even though it would have worked, we would have had the extra space. It would have still been, we would have had our business in our home.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine if you can't afford or not ready to take the leap of having a separate office. But for us, I think it was that time to separate our business from our personal life.
Yeah, we still obviously are in the process of decorating and putting this studio together, but it already feels so much better to leave the house and come here. You know, like I can already see this being like so successful in us creating, because the minute we walk in that door, it's like a different mindset. We're not home anymore.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, our kids are here with us.
Aaron Judge. Come on, sponsor this video, Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
You got it, Aaron Judge. Come on, when I go on my birthday to Yankee Stadium, give me a ball, please.
Oh my God.
How you liking it so far, man?
Good. They still need to be ironed, so they look
Yeah, we
crazy right now. But yeah.
think they're too long now.
Well, it was this or the others.
Yeah.
This was the next one.
I think it'd be fine. So this is another thing we faced when we had just our apartment, that we couldn't customize the set exactly how we envisioned it, because we needed to kind of work around our living room.
Right. The decorations we had in our living room. And my decorations on the living room don't necessarily match the decorations I have in my head for a podcast.
Yeah. So sometimes we felt that, I feel like if people look at a podcast and like you're doing it in your home, yeah, it's cool. But I don't think until they see like an actual set, that you built out a set for this podcast, they're like, oh, wait a minute, these people are serious about what they're doing. Even if you are serious about doing it at home, it's just, there's something about
Just
you having a
taking it-
dedicated space that you,
Just taking it to the next level, that people will look at it like you're serious about what you're doing. So yeah, it was time for us.
and we are serious about this podcast.
Yes.
It's time to elevate.
Oh my God, this is gonna come out so good. Also, another tip is to add a touch of greenery to your space to make it come together. So this is like a quick hack. If you guys want your room to be dark and you don't want to paint walls and you want it to feel moody, just add some black curtains or dark gray, and it automatically changes the whole space. It just feels nice and intimate in here now. Disclaimer, I am not an interior designer. I have just been watching a lot of videos, and yeah, I'm just taking a couple tips from some of the interior designers here on YouTube. So
I am.
You're an interior
I am an
designer?
interior designer. I am. I've single-handedly built this office. Well, with the help of my lovely wife. But this was done in Photoshop. I'll show you a picture
Yeah.
before.
You're like a digital designer. He has like a lot of ideas, and then he'll just put it on a computer just to make his mental vision come
See if
to
it
life.
works.
You know, and I'm always amazed by how he can take what he has on his head and put it on the computer just as a visual for me, because I never know what he's talking about when he's explaining these things to me.
That is a fact. Another tip when you're creating your own space is to try to light it yourself, because when you create your own light, I'm gonna create another video going into detail as to like what everything I'm using in the studio. But when you learn how to light certain areas how you want it, you kind of create the mood. For example, like if we just leave those lights on, it's just gonna light up everything. So everything is just like looks the same, and there's no like depth into the image or layers of light. So I'll show you as we go on like what I use and the final outcome. The final video probably won't be the finished product. Like I feel like we'll continue to add as we go and remove. We're also gonna put a TV there. So yeah.
Let's see what it's looking like.
All right, guys. As you see, the studio is coming along. Things are looking good so far. We're gonna leave it here for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you can see the final result.
Don't forget to turn on your post notifications. And
Peace.
until next time.